When my mom told me I wasn't invited to my dad's birthday dinner, I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was just so expected. No explanation. No warning. Just a polite little silence, tied up with a fake smile. At first, I figured they forgot. That maybe the invite got lost in the family group chat. But then I saw the photos. There was my sister, Jenna, glowing under string lights, her boyfriend holding her waist like she was the center of some elegant little universe. Candles, balloons, laughter, and not a single trace of me. Not in a photo, not in a story, not even in a wish you were here. You ever scroll so hard your finger forgets what it's doing? That was me, swiping through each image like maybe, just maybe, I'd show up by accident in the background. A ghost in someone else's joy. Then the worst part came. Not the exclusion. Not even the lies. It was realizing this wasn't new. This was a pattern dressed as coincidence. I've been edited out for years. One birthday, one brunch, one group text at a time. The job they never respected. The quiet comments about me being too intense. The handmade gifts they accidentally returned without saying anything. Even the time I flew across the country to help Jenna move, and she couldn't be bothered to tag me in a single photo. So I did what any grown woman on the edge of implosion does. I closed my laptop. I poured myself a drink. And I disappeared. Not in a tragic, dramatic way. No slamming doors. No long-winded texts. Just silence. The kind that doesn't ask for permission. But funny thing about silence? It makes people nervous. And when the truth finally came out, let's just say the birthday party didn't just fall apart. It exploded. It was a slow Sunday morning in Riversend, the kind where you don't check your phone for anything urgent because nothing ever is. I was still in my robe, barefoot in the kitchen, watching the kettle rattle like it had secrets to spill. The window was cracked open. Cicadas buzzed like background static. For a second, I convinced myself I was fine. Then I opened Instagram. First post. Boom. Jenna, mid-laugh, holding a birthday queen card with that signature fake humble look she practiced since high school. Behind her, at least 15 faces I recognized, cousins, friends, even my mom, posing like some Hallmark ad for functional families. I blinked. Scrolled. Second photo. Same brunch, different angle. Champagne flutes. Sunflowers. Confetti. Still no trace of me. No text. No call. No accidental invite. My stomach sank in that slow, cold way where your body catches up before your brain does. I flipped to my messages. Jenna's name? Quiet. Last text from her was 2 weeks ago, me asking if she wanted to grab lunch on Thursday. Left on read. Classic. I scrolled through our cousins group chat. Nothing. But then I checked Sierra's story, my cousin with a black belt in unintentional truth-telling. And there it was. Same brunch. Same setup. Only this time, you could hear the laughter in the background. Tasha's voice. Loud. Sharp. Laughing at something. Probably me. I messaged Sierra. Hey. Random. Was that brunch for Jenna's birthday? 10 minutes later, she replied. Yeah. Kinda last minute. Tasha told her not to invite you. Said you'd bring heavy energy. Heavy. Energy. What am I? A thunderstorm in eyeliner. I didn't answer. What was there to say? By noon, I'd done that thing where you gaslight yourself into forgiveness. Maybe they didn't want drama. Maybe I've been distant lately. Maybe I'm too much. But here's the thing, I was family. And not just bloodline family. I was the one who helped Jenna move out of state when her ex left her broke and sobbing. I was the one who took unpaid days off to drive our mother to her post-op appointments because no one else was available. So, yeah, maybe I was too much. But maybe too much was the reason they still leaned on me when things got real. That afternoon I called Mom. I wasn't trying to fight. I just wanted to understand. She picked up like nothing was wrong. Hey, sweetheart. Everything okay? I kept it light. Did you know about Jenna's brunch today?
Pause.
Then a breath. Oh, honey, it was just a little get-together. Don't overthink it. It wasn't that kind of event. Sure. Just a dozen people. Balloons. Brunch. Matching outfits. Sierra and Tasha were there, I said flatly. She chuckled. That condescending, breezy kind of chuckle she used when I was a kid trying to be taken seriously. It wasn't for you, sweetheart. That's all. You know how these things go. It wasn't for me, I repeated. She kept going. Sometimes it's better when the energy is lighter. Jenna didn't want anything heavy. I think you understand. No, I said slowly. I really don't. Don't make this bigger than it is. And there it was, the phrase they always used when I dared to feel something. Like I hadn't spent years swallowing their backhanded jabs and forgotten invitations without making a scene. After we hung up, I just sat there. The mug in my hand had gone cold, but I didn't move, didn't cry, didn't rage. There was just this stillness, not peace. More like the quiet that happens after a house collapses. That night, Sierra texted again. I hadn't asked,
but she sent it anyway.
Tasha told Jenna not to invite you. Said you make things too serious. No surprise. Just confirmation. And for the first time, I didn't spiral. I didn't try to explain myself. I just let go. That thread, the one I'd been clinging to, finally snapped. So I opened my laptop, typed solo beach vacation into the search bar, and hit enter. They wanted a celebration without me?
Fine.
Let's see how they enjoy the silence. 2 days later, I was halfway through a cup of tea and a reread of The Untethered Soul, trying to stay unbothered, when my phone buzzed.
Kayla.
Coffee this Friday? No apology. No. Hey, sorry we left you out of my entire birthday. Just casual, breezy coffee. I stared at the message long enough for the screen to dim. My thumb hovered over delete, but curiosity, that old familiar traitor, won out. Sure. She sent a location, some downtown spot with overpriced muffins and too many succulents in mason jars. The kind of place where people fake write screenplays while waiting to be noticed. I arrived 5 minutes early. No nerves. Just a strange kind of calm. I didn't wear makeup. Didn't dress up. Just a soft sweater, jeans, and the full weight of every silent moment they'd handed me over the years. She walked in exactly on time. Of course. All bounce and sunshine like nothing had happened. You look refreshed, she chirped, sliding into the seat across from me. I tilted my head. Thanks. She waved at the barista like a local celebrity, then turned back to me. I figured we should catch up. Last week felt off. I raised an eyebrow. You think?
She sighed. That sigh.
The one she used in high school when she forgot her homework but still expected an A. Look, I didn't think the brunch would interest you.
It was a party vibe.
You're not really the party type, Lena. There it was.
The dig.
Dressed in chiffon. I took a slow sip. So, I don't vibe with mimosas and curated selfies? She laughed a little too quickly. You always read too much into things. You could have just said, hey, I want to come. You're my sister. I didn't know I had to ask for an invitation to my own family. She shrugged. You've just always been more intense. I wanted something light. I let the silence sit. Let her squirm a little. But of course, she filled it. Don't get worked up again, she said, laughing nervously. Remember when I told that story about your therapy stuff? Everyone thought it was hilarious. I froze. Which story? The dinner at Jen's place? I told them how you always give people, like, emotionally correct homework, she giggled, making air quotes. I even did your calm voice. You know. And how did that make you feel? She laughed again. Alone. I stared. You mocked my clients. Come on. It was just a joke. You're being so sensitive. That word. Sensitive. Like it was a weakness instead of a warning light. I placed my mug down carefully. If being emotionally literate makes me the buzzkill in your Instagram fairy tale, then I'll gladly be the storm cloud over your champagne. She blinked. It was just a party.
No.
It was your way of reminding me I don't belong at your table. The air around us changed, like a shift in barometric pressure. She reached for her purse, like the conversation bored her now. Don't be dramatic. I'm trying to include you again. I stood up.
No.
You excluded me on purpose. And now you want a gold star for showing up with lukewarm coffee. She rolled her eyes. God, you really are exhausting sometimes. I didn't flinch. Didn't raise my voice. I simply placed a $10 bill on the table, enough for both drinks, and walked out. The fall breeze slapped me in the face the second I stepped outside. But you know what? I welcomed it. At the crosswalk, I pulled out my phone and typed 5 words. Last-minute vacation deals. 4-1. Because this time, I wasn't walking away to make a point. I was walking away because staying no longer made one. Back at my apartment, I tossed my keys on the counter with one hand and opened my laptop with the other. No lights. Just the cold glow of the screen and the hum of a fridge that, honestly, sounded more human than most of my family. The browser was still open. Beach destinations. Spa resorts. Packages for solo travelers. Translation. People tired of emotional babysitting. I clicked on a boutique resort in Silver Bay. Ocean adjacent, but not touristy. It looked detached. Quiet. Like exactly where I needed to be. As I hovered over the book now button, my brain's sweet, sabotaging little machine decided to replay old tapes. Thanksgiving. 3 years ago. Aunt Loretta's house. Too many voices. Dry stuffing. And someone asking about my love life. Kayla, with her usual charm, raised a glass. Lena's still single because she makes everything a therapy session. The room roared with laughter. Even Mom. I smiled.
Of course I did.
Sipped wine. Rolled my eyes. But inside, it stuck like a splinter I never managed to pull out. I remembered looking at my plate and tasting nothing. Another memory. Nina again, pulling me aside at her wedding. Just so you know, your mom told Kayla not to invite you to the engagement party. She said you'd overanalyze everything and make it awkward. I'd shrugged at the time. I probably wouldn't have come anyway. But that night, I sat on my couch staring at my phone wondering, how many other things have I been edited out of? Not just forgotten. Strategically removed. Not because I caused harm, but because I noticed the harm they preferred to ignore. The phone buzzed. It was Mom. Hope you and Kayla cleared things up. Let's avoid more drama, okay? I stared at the words. They tasted like peace, but smelled like blame. Let's avoid more drama, the family motto. Also known as, please stop having feelings we don't want to deal with. I closed the message. Then I opened my journal. I've been the family's sponge long enough. I'm done playing the part they cast me in. My heart wasn't racing. It wasn't heavy. It was steady. I went back to the resort page. Entered my card number. Clicked confirm. A small flash on the screen. Booking complete. It didn't feel like revenge. It felt like a release. That night, I didn't even turn on the TV. I poured a glass of wine and sat on the balcony, letting the silence curl around me like a blanket I chose instead of inherited. Before bed, I opened my photos. There she was, Kayla, with her champagne and crown, surrounded by petals and people with practiced smiles. I deleted every photo. Not in anger, but because sometimes the most radical act of healing is to declutter your memories. The next morning, I brewed coffee, but didn't drink it. Just left it on the counter, like a metaphor.
Warm. Ready.
But untouched. Then my phone buzzed. Venmo notification. Kayla sent you $135 for the necklace. Didn't match the vibe. No, thank you. No, I appreciate it. Just a refund, like I was some failed Amazon order. I remembered that necklace. Delicate sterling silver. 3 tiny birthstones. Mine, hers, and Grandma May's. I'd even written a handwritten note. Because some connections aren't just blood, they're chosen.
She didn't ask if I wanted it back.
Didn't mention the note. Just erased it. Like I'd never meant to give it in the first place. And that somehow hurt more than the party. Not because it was dramatic, but because it confirmed what I'd always feared. They didn't forget me. They just preferred me gone. I was folding laundry when Nina's name lit up my screen. Just so you're not blindsided, they moved the party up. It happened last night. I froze. Mid-shirt. Mid-breath. Mid-everything. I opened Instagram like it owed me answers. First story, there she was.
Kayla. Tiara. Sash.
Holding court like a champagne-drenched queen. 50 people. I counted. Even Aunt Loretta was there. Sequined blouse. Raising her glass. I didn't just miss the party. They rescheduled it to make sure I wouldn't come. I closed the app. Walked into the kitchen. Gripped the counter so hard my fingertips turned white. Then Nina sent a voice memo. Her tone was hushed, like she didn't want her phone to overhear. Not trying to stir anything, but your mom literally said, "It'll be less awkward without Lena." I played it twice, then deleted it. Not out of spite, but because I refused to let their cowardice live rent-free in my phone. Instead, I opened Airbnb. The resort was booked, but I needed somewhere to breathe in between. Found a tiny house just outside Silver Bay. White stucco. Cactus-lined driveway. Outdoor shower. Paid in full. No guests. No sharing. No explanations. That evening, I opened my journal and wrote. They erased me. Let's see how they handle the silence when I vanish on purpose. I packed light. Linen. A swimsuit still with the tag on. And one last thing. A photo of Grandma May, folded behind a scarf I kept hidden in my dresser. She was the only one who ever looked at me without editing the parts she didn't like. No note. No goodbye text. I left before sunrise, the suitcase wheels echoing on the porch like punctuation. At the airport, I let the plane take off, not just from the runway, but from their narrative. Landing in California was like walking into my own life for the first time. Dry heat, wide sky, silence that wasn't cold, just clean. The resort concierge greeted me with a tray of lemon water and a script smile. I didn't care. I wasn't here to be seen. I was here to exist without being explained. That afternoon, I lounged by the pool in silence. A book lay open beside me, but I wasn't reading. I was feeling the absence of noise, guilt, expectation. Then my phone buzzed.
Kayla. Heard you're traveling.
Figured you wouldn't come anyway. Not everyone needs you all the time, you know. No emoji. No warmth. Just that trademark sugar-coated blade. I laughed. Out loud. Alone. Not rage. Not hurt. Just clarity. I whispered to no one. Not everyone deserves me either. I didn't respond.
Didn't need to.
I opened my camera. Took a photo of my drink on the table. Orange with a tacky umbrella. Ocean in the background. My toes in the frame. I didn't post it. I just kept it. A still life of freedom. Later that day, Nina texted again. You're not gonna believe what just happened. I paused, then smiled, because whatever it was, I knew it came from the crack they made when they cut me out, and now they had to live with what they broke. The message from Nina was short. Derek walked out in the middle of the party.
Derek.
Kayla's boyfriend of nearly a year. Mr. Steady. Mr. Grounded. He wasn't flashy, just calm. The kind of calm Kayla liked to borrow but never really understood. Why? I typed. During the cake, no speech, no scene. Just walked out. I blinked. This wasn't petty joy. This was something deeper. It wasn't about Derek. It was about the domino effect. 3 weeks earlier, he DM'd me out of nowhere.
Hey.
Weird question. Does Kayla twist things sometimes? I hadn't replied, but I'd stared at that message for a long time. So no, I wasn't surprised he left. He saw it too. Later that morning, Nina sent a video. You'll want to see this. I opened it, expecting some blurry chaos. But no, it was clear.
Loud.
And surgical. Kayla, tipsy but composed, doing an impression of me. Mock therapist voice. Fake notebook. And how did that make you feel? The crowd laughed.
Clapped.
Even my mother stood beside the wine table, saying nothing. I didn't finish the video.
Didn't need to.
She wasn't mocking therapy. She was mocking me. The part of me that tried to help, to hold, to fix. I set the phone face down. Took a breath that didn't shake. That evening, I posted a sunset photo. Pool reflection. Caption.
Healing.
Uninterrupted. Within minutes. Where are you? Call me. You need to stop this. I didn't answer. Instead, I walked to the beach bar. Ordered something fruity and absurd. Asked for a blank postcard. Back in my lounge chair, I wrote one sentence. I choose me. This time and every time after. I didn't send it. It wasn't for them. It was for me. The next morning, a new message. Nina. Grandma found out. And she is livid. I sat straighter. She told Mom, so you lied to me too? And then the voice note. Grandma May. Usually quiet. Usually neutral. But not today. If you had treated Lena better, maybe none of this would have happened. You pushed out the only steady one, and now look at you. Spinning. I stared at the screen like it was a dream. Not vindicated. Not triumphant. Just seen. Later that night, Nina forwarded an email. From Grandma. Subject line. Just so you know. I'm sorry they made you the strong one. The one who absorbed and adjusted. You deserved more than what they gave. And more than what I allowed. Whatever you do next, know this. I see you. I love you. I see you now. I didn't cry. I just saved the message in a folder titled, Proof I'm Not Crazy. The next morning, I extended my stay by one more day. Not to hide, but because I no longer owed my time to anyone who couldn't hold it gently. By the time I flew back to Riversend, the air felt different.
Cooler. Calmer.
Like the city had caught its breath while I was gone. I bought fresh greens, chamomile tea, and a small bouquet of wildflowers. At home, I unpacked slowly. Hung the scarf with Grandma's photo back behind the mirror. And then I noticed the box.
Thin.
Handwritten. From her. Inside. A bracelet.
Silver.
Delicate engraving on the inside. You are not too much. And a note. You never had to fight to be seen by me. I saw you all along. Grandma May. I held it to my chest. No social post. No status update. No dramatic finale. Just a breath. Just peace. That night, Wrapped in a blanket on the balcony, I wrote one last line in my journal. I didn't need revenge. I needed release. And I finally gave it to myself. And I closed the book.